I'm going to be installing these LED headlamps in our 2015 Honda Accord. Right now I have HIDs in. One of the ballasts every now and then doesn't turn on. And on the other headlamp, the bulb is starting to kind of turn a slightly different color, almost like a purpley color, and that's usually a sign that the bulb's going. So I put those headlight bulbs in when we got the car, probably about 4 years ago. And they're already starting to die. New HIDs are probably around $100 or anywhere from 50 to 100. And LEDs are about the same price. And LEDs have come a really long way since I put those HIDs in. Now, these are made by a company named LED Eagle, or at least sold by them. It's probably not made in Canada, but we have some of their headlights for our high beams for the same car, as well as my mom's car, and they've been great. So I'm going to try putting the same ones in. So this is the one that I got here. Diamond Vision. Sounds nice. And this is what comes in the box. So a little card. Couple zap straps, which I know what those are for. Just also, I've just installed these in my sister's car, so I kind of know what's going on with them. Basic instruction manual. Who needs instructions though, right? A Allen key. So the Allen key is used for adjusting the position of the actual headlights themselves. And then the headlights. Now these have built-in little fans. I know when LED lights first came out, people had a lot of complaints about them. They had these giant heat sinks on them, and they had issues where they would overheat and they weren't bright enough, and then they'd burn out and stuff like that. So I think you can get them where they don't have a fan, but really, yes, the fan can fail. The ones that we have in the car for the high beams and my mom's car have been great. So no issues with those. But you can see that these have a fairly nice big heatsink on them and a fan built right into it. And then this little power supply or whatnot that then plugs right into where your regular headlight connector is. So the zap straps are going to be for connecting this to like a wiring harness or something nearby, somewhere on the body or anything like that. They give you a spot or the little slots there to put a zap strap through it, or you could just wrap it right around the whole body there. So these things are pretty simple to put in. They actually come with this little harness splitter right there, so it makes it easier to put this in. So the Allen key right here, the purpose of that is when you install this in the vehicle, maybe you can kind of see that these are two-sided, so we have LEDs on both sides. So if you install this in the headlamp, and maybe if it's straight up and down, it's going to be really bright, it's perfect, great. Maybe you install it and it's actually kind of like at an angle and you need to adjust it. Say if you have like a reflector beam type headlamps instead of projection. So what you would do is there should be a spot for the Allen key right there. So you loosen that and basically just rotate this piece here just slightly to try to basically center it or make it so it's as bright as possible. So it's a little finicky and a little playing around with, but I've actually found that most of the time you put it in, they're pretty much bang on. So it's kind of like if you put it down and you go, oh, I want to try to make it as bright as possible, then go for that or try adjusting that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll go downstairs and I'll show you what the headlights on the HIDs look like. Then I'll remove those and then put these in, and we'll see what they look like. Okay, I'm just in the car right now, and it's like 1 o'clock, so not super dark out. But I just wanted to kind of show what's going on. Let's see, I'm going to turn the headlights off. So these are the HIDs, and they turn on pretty quick. The one on the left, every now and then doesn't turn on, so you got to flick the headlights on and off to get to fire. And then the one on the right, you can see is changing color quite a bit. So what I'm going to do now is I'll remove these and then install the LEDs, and we'll see comparison-wise how they look. So I put the LED bulb on the right side. The left side is still the HID, and you can see there's a slight color difference. The LED is definitely a bit whiter. I didn't want like a very blue light, so I wanted something that was more just like a good white color. So let's see. So that's turned off, turned on. Both turn on pretty quick. Yeah, I think the LED one's definitely a bit nicer of a color. So hopefully at night it also works a bit better. I'll quickly show you exactly what I removed and what's being installed, and show you how it looks in the vehicle. It's probably hard to see, but the LED bulb, which is the one on the left there, is definitely more of a nice white, bluey white kind of color, where the HID I had was a bit more yellow. Here is the HID that I took out. So the bulb, you can actually see, has kind of, you can see it looks kind of powdery on the inside. So it's starting to break down. And there's also little pieces of glass. So it's come apart on the inside there. So it might just be the bulb actually that's failing, not the ballast. Oh no, this is the right side, yeah. This is the one that's actually changing color, so yeah, the bulb's failing. There's the ballast, small, slim ballast that I got. These actually, when I got them, the connector that came with it were terrible and actually like were leaking water inside and corroding. So I ordered some adapters and attached them. So that was kind of finicky. But there's all the pieces there for the HID. And then this is the LED that goes in to replace it. They've come with nice connectors, really easy to install. And I'll show you with it on. So there it is there, and you can kind of hear the fan running. So it's not very loud. I've heard some that are really loud. Where with the HIDs, I have the ballast sitting down inside there, so I have to remove that ballast and everything. So overall, I think the LEDs are a good upgrade, especially if you just have regular halogen bulbs, then definitely go with LED. Like I said, the technology has gone so much better over the years that I think HIDs are going to be a thing of the past pretty soon here. When all the manufacturers are going to LEDs and no longer using HIDs, I think that's kind of a telltale sign right there. So I'll get this other one in and we'll see how it looks. I thought maybe I should quickly show how to remove these bulbs. So these are H11, they're pretty simple, and luckily these ones are really easy to access on this car. Sometimes you'd have to remove panels or an air filter, maybe remove a battery to get more access, but luckily these ones are pretty easy. So all you really need to do is get your hands on the bulb, which sometimes can be easier said than done, and I'm going to rotate it counterclockwise. There we go. It should just slide right out. Now, whenever you're dealing with halogen bulbs, LEDs, HIDs, you don't want to touch the lens or the glass. And oh, look at that one. Also deteriorating too. So these things were definitely at the end of their life. So never touch the bulb glass. Never touch the bulb glass, especially with halogens or HIDs. And the reason why is because your finger oil can get on it, and then with the high temperature, the oil creates bubbling or can break the glass because the glass won't heat up the same with the oily spot compared to the rest of it. So at very hot temperatures, the bit of skin oil on it will cause the glass to heat up at a different rate and then cause the glass to actually bubble or actually break. So with LEDs, they don't get nearly as hot, but it's still a good idea. Don't touch the actual LED itself. So to put this one in, all I gotta do is line up the notches so you can see the notches are slightly different sizes. Line up the notches, it'll sit in, then rotate clockwise. Okay, so rotate clockwise. Don't push on the fan, don't want to damage that. So I'll get this one put in and we'll see how it looks. I have LED bulbs actually as the high beams, and just to give you an idea of what you can do, this one here you can see is not perfectly straight up and down. You can see it's kind of angled slightly, where if I look at this bulb, might be hard to see, but it's perfectly straight up and down. So if you have headlights with reflectors, then what you can do is you can use that little Allen key and then slightly rotate the actual bulb so that it's perfectly positioned to get the best reflection. So I just noticed that mine were actually like this, so I'm actually going to take my one high beam out and then rotate it so that it's straight up and down like this side. So I'm going to do that really quickly, and then we'll see how all the lights work. Okay, so headlights are all in, super nice and bright white. I got the high beams on right now and the low beams. Now with the high beams on, they also have built-in fans, and you can hear how loud they are. They really hum like crazy. Now those are about 3 years old, so already the technology is so much better, they're a lot quieter. So I'm gonna quickly turn the high beams off and we'll see how loud the low beams are. Okay, so high beams are now off. I don't even know if I can hear what's going on with the low beams. Like, it's so quiet compared to those high beams. So I think these look great, really nice white, easy to install. Removed all this junk. About, I think they're on sale for $60 Canadian. So that's probably like what, $45 American, maybe even less, 40 bucks. So I think a really good, worthwhile upgrade. So hopefully you found this video useful and helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comments.